Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we are shifting gears a bit.
Yeah.
Usually we take a stack of articles, trace a timeline, a market trend, but today...
Today feels a bit colder in here, doesn't it?
It does. Today, we are entering the profiling room.
We're not just recounting a crime story. We're attempting a clinical post-mortem of a psyche.
And we have a massive stack of sources to do it. I'm looking at police logs from Boston PD, digital forensics case files they read like a spy novel, internal reports from Boston University, and some very, very heavy biographical data. Our subject is Dossier, #29, Philip Markoff.
The Craigslist Killer.
Exactly. And you might know the headlines, but our mission today is different. We are going to ignore this standard true crime timeline.
Right. We want to focus on a specific collision.
The collision between a high-status persona, this elite medical student, and a predatory shadow.
It's a study in duality, really. We're looking at how someone can walk the halls of a medical school, being trained to heal.
While at the same time, curating a life that's designed to destroy.
Precisely.
And the best place to start isn't at the crime scene.
Sure.
It's on a bookshelf. Picture this. You're in an apartment in Quincy, Massachusetts. A normal, shared space. You look at the bookshelf of an elite medical student and you see Gray's Anatomy.
The literal Bible of human structure.
But inside Philip Markoff's copy, the pages weren't marked for surgery. They were hollowed out.
It's such a classic, almost cinematic hiding spot. But what he was hiding inside?
It wasn't cash.
Yeah.
It wasn't a diary. He had carved out the center of that book to hide a Springfield Armory XD9 semi-automatic handgun.
Just think about the weight of that for a second.
It wasn't studying how to save lives. He was engineering how to end them. It feels like the ultimate betrayal of the Hippocratic Oath.
Before he even took it.
We are opening Dossier #29, the Craigslist Killer.
That image of the book, it really sets the thesis for everything we are about to discuss.
It really does.
You have a second-year student at Boston University School of Medicine, a member of the National Honor Society, someone who has, essentially dedicated his life to preserving the human body.
And he literally carves out the foundational text of his profession to conceal a weapon.
It's not just hiding a gun. It's displacing knowledge with violence. It's symbolic.
The police report from the search of his apartment in the High Point complex, it gets even more specific. It wasn't just the gun.
Oh, I know what you're gonna say.
To add to the sheer coldness of it, they found bullets taped to the back of a dryer.
See, that detail always sticks with me. Taping bullets to the back of a dryer.
Why?
That is the first clear sign of this dual life we're analyzing. You have the messy, normal domestic life, a dryer, laundry, an apartment shared with a fiancé, and then this hidden lethal component.
Taped to the blind side of an appliance.
It is compartmentalization in physical form.
So he was worried about casual discovery, but he kept it close enough to access. Okay, so let's move from the apartment to the hunting grounds. This is where the dossier gets really dark.
And frankly, where the class element comes into play.
Right. Markoff wasn't stalking alleyways. He was operating in these high-end spaces. The Westin Copley Place, the Marriott Copley Place in Boston.
And a Holiday Inn Express in Warwick, Rhode Island. What's fascinating here is the modus operandi. He used the environment to his advantage.
These are luxury hotels.
They're transient spaces, sure, but they are secure, clean, anonymous. You walk into a Westin in a nice coat, nobody stops you. He was leveraging his ability to blend in.
Exactly. And he used the erotic services section of Craigslist.
Which, we should note, was removed permanently because of this case.
He used that section to filter for a very specific type of victim.
He was looking for women who would be alone in a hotel room expecting a client.
He targeted Tricia Leffler at the West Inbound and robbed. Then Jalissa Brisbane at the Marriott, a masseuse. That robbery turned into a murder.
She fought back. He shot her in the heart, hip, and lung.
And finally, Cynthia Melton in Warwick, an exotic dancer. That robbery was interrupted by her husband.
The choice of targets is crucial to understanding the pathology here. He viewed these women through a lens of pure utility.
But look at the tools of control he used. This wasn't chaotic. He didn't bring rope.
No. He brought plastic zip ties, flex cuffs.
Why is that distinction so important? Why zip ties?
Well, think about the mechanics. Rope can loosen, duct tape can get messy, it can tear. Zip ties are mechanical. They are binary open or closed.
And once you zip them, they only get tighter.
Exactly. He brought the cold precision of the operating room into a hotel suite.
Witnesses described him as a clean-cut blonde man.
He used that appearance, that medical student, look to gain trust just long enough to get through the door. It's the camouflage of the predator.
I want to pivot to the investigation, though, because how he was caught. It wasn't a witness ID or DNA. It was all digital breadcrumbs.
This case is actually a landmark in digital forensics. It changed how police interact with the tech companies.
So what do they try first?
The usual. Cell tower data, pulling records for 15 minutes before and after the crimes near the hotels.
Makes sense. The standard play. Who was near all 3 crime scenes?
Right, but it was a complete dead end. Markoff was smart enough, or, paranoid enough to use disposable phones, burner phones.
So the cell towers just see a ghost.
A ghost. So if the phones were a dead end, how did they find him?
They couldn't just guess.
They followed the metadata. He used a disposable email account to contact the victims on Craigslist.
And he probably thought, fake name, I'm anonymous.
Of course, but he made a fatal error. He accessed that email account from his home.
Okay, so break that down for us.
The police subpoenaed Microsoft for that email's activity. And Microsoft doesn't just store the emails, they store access logs.
Every login.
Every single time you log in, your computer shakes hands with their server, and that handshake leaves a fingerprint, an IP address.
So Microsoft gave that IP address to the police. But an IP address is just a number, right? It doesn't have a name on it.
No, but it belongs to an internet service provider. In this case, Comcast. So the police take that number to Comcast and say, who is renting this IP address at this specific time?
And Comcast just tells them.
Comcast checks their logs and says, that IP was assigned to the modem in Unit 804, High Point Complex, Quincy. The account holder is Philip Markoff.
Wow. That is a straight line from a murder scene right to his front door.
It didn't stop there. They went to Facebook. We have reports that Facebook handed over a 60-page dossier on Markoff.
A 60-page dossier.
Friends lists, login times, photos. It helped build the profile before they even had him in cuffs.
It's terrifying how much data was just sitting there. But they still needed a physical link, right? You can't convict an IP address.
Correct. Maybe someone hacked his Wi-Fi, you could argue. And this is where the digital meets the physical.
The old school stuff.
Exactly. Investigators put him under surveillance. They followed him from his apartment to a grocery store, watched him push a cart.
Okay.
And when he left, they didn't arrest him. They went in and dusted the handle of that cart.
And that's the match.
They matched those fingerprints to the crime scene. It's a convergence of modern surveillance and classic gumshoe tactics.
So we have the how. Now I want to get into the why. This is phase 3, behavioral analysis. Because looking at this file, there's a really confusing pivot.
The gambling.
The compulsive gambling pivot. When he was arrested, he wasn't fleeing. He was in a car with his fiancée driving to Foxwoods Casino.
With thousands of dollars in cash on him.
Right, so the immediate theory was financial desperation. He had gambling debts. He needed cash.
It's a tidy narrative, isn't it? I owe money, so I rob someone.
But does it really hold water? A desperate med student needing rent money brings zip ties and a gun hollowed out in a textbook.
I don't think so. If you just need cash, you rob a convenience store. You don't create a complex system of targeting women in luxury hotels.
So the robbery was the excuse, not the motive.
Yeah.
He was getting something else out of it.
That's the risk-taking psychopathy angle. It's what we sometimes call the liar's high.
The thrill of the deception itself.
Exactly, the thrill of the double life. He's robbing and dominating these women, then going home to study for his medical boards. The gambling might have just been another symptom of that risk-seeking behavior, not the cause.
And speaking of going home, we have to talk about the perfect facade. On paper, this guy was the all-American success story.
Son of a dentist, biology degree, National Honor Society.
History club, golf team, bowling team. He checked every single box of societal success.
The kind of guy parents brag about.
And the ultimate box to check was his relationship. He was engaged to Megan McAllister. They met volunteering at an ER.
A setting dedicated to helping people. It's almost too on the nose.
I know. She called him beautiful inside and out. But there's this one moment in her interrogation transcript. It just haunts me.
I know exactly the moment you're talking about. It is painful to read.
The police are showing Megan surveillance footage of the suspect, her fiancé, leaving the crime scene. They zoom in on his shoes.
And she says confidently,
"Those are not his shoes. I monitor all his shoes."
I monitor all his shoes. That statement is just devastating in hindsight.
It shows this incredible psychology of denial.
But also the dynamic of their relationship. She had built this version of him in her mind, the future doctor, the neat, organized partner. She was so focused on managing that image that she couldn't see the reality.
And the reality was that later, Forensics found blood from Jalissa Brisman on the shoes Markoff was wearing when he was arrested.
And that's the anatomy of a dual life right there. To her, he's a man whose shoes she knows by heart. To the camera, he's a predator.
Her blindness just highlights his terrifying ability to compartmentalize.
He didn't just hide things from her. He created a reality where those things didn't exist when he was with her.
It also speaks to the devaluation of the victim. To Markoff, these women.
Yeah.
They weren't people.
No. In his mind, they were objects. He chose sex workers specifically because he likely believed they were lesser.
That they were less likely to go to the police.
Or that society just wouldn't care as much. To him, as the sources suggest, they were just ATMs with a pulse.
Chilling. A completely transactional, dehumanizing view of life.
Totally at odds with the profession he was training for.
But the story doesn't end with a trial. Markoff never faced a jury.
No, he didn't. And the end of this dossier is perhaps the most clinical and disturbing part of the whole case.
This is phase 4, the final surgery. Markoff was held at the Nashua Street Jail. The date is important here.
August 15th, 2010.
1 year and 1 day after his wedding was supposed to take place.
The timing was clearly deliberate, a message.
And the way he died, it wasn't a frantic act. The reports describe it as a procedure.
It was. He was in a solitary cell. He fashioned a primitive scalpel from a prison pen and a piece of metal.
And he didn't just slash wildly. He used his medical knowledge.
He severed the femoral artery in his legs.
And the carotid in his neck.
Those are major arteries. The femoral is very difficult to target if you don't know anatomy. He knew exactly where to cut for rapid exsanguination or bleeding out.
But he took it a step further.
He did. He knew that if he passed out, guards might find him and resuscitate him.
So he swallowed toilet paper.
He packed his airway with it and then tightened a plastic bag over his head with gauze.
It's horrifyingly surgical. It creates a closed system.
Yes. The level of planning and anatomical knowledge is undeniable. The scene in the cell. He wrote his ex-fiancee's name, Megan, and their pet names in blood on the wall. Photos of them were scattered around him.
It was his final tableau, an act of control.
Absolute control. He died as he lived. He took the motive to his grave. We'll never know for sure if it was the gambling debts or just the darkness inside him.
He denied the victims justice, and he denied the state its verdict.
He made sure he made the final decision.
So what does this all mean? We've looked at the evidence, the digital trail, the psychology. When you close Dossier #29, what are you left with?
I'm left with the terrifying reality of the mask. We rely on social cues to determine safety. A white coat, a medical degree, a clean-cut appearance.
Things that signal trust.
Right. And Markoff proves that those signals can be completely, utterly fabricated.
It really shakes you. This man walked the halls of a medical school. He was being trained to fix you.
And that is the provocative thought we have to end on. The man who might have been your surgeon could have been your executioner.
Dossier #29 is closed.
Don't trust the white coat blindly. Watch the shadows.
Stay curious, everyone, and stay vigilant. We'll see you on the next deep dive.